Greetings and salutations. My name is Christina Williams. I'm also known as Antoine Valier, and I am from Jamaica. And I am a poet, I'm a spoken word performer, I am an author, I'm a youth leader. And my book, Pearls Among Stones, won Prime Minister's National Youth Award. And I will be discussing the intersection of AI on poetry and human creativity. For me, I began writing poetry at the age of 10, and while I did not see individuals in my community writing poetry, based on my upbringing, there was a lot of circumstances that led me to write. I was a very shy child, and so I had pen and paper, and so I began writing, and that's kind of my start. And then I went on, in later years to write books and win awards and travel and so forth. Now, so I see poetry as something that is very personal. It's very passionate about it. It's my own ingenuity. It's things that I see around me. It connects me to other human beings. I see people's story, and I'm able to write on based on that, either through eavesdropping or having conversation with individuals. And I hope that when people read my book, they are inspired. And so that's one of my motivation. And I see AI. I don't think that AI is all bad. I believe that AI has its pros and cons, and some of the pros and cons that I see, especially pros, is a sense where it involves a lot of people, because there's people who never thought that they could express themselves through poetry. And so, you have poem generator. There's a website that does that. And so individuals who were not able to express their inner feelings can do so. And as a result, this can, involve diversity and inclusivity. The question will be, are these individuals now writers? I cannot answer those questions. It's just something to deliberate on. But for me, that I believe that my gift is from God, and I just have it naturally. I don't know if it, writing, like everyone can call himself a poet, but I also believe that human creativity comes in different forms. So it's not just poetry, it's come through critical thinking. And, I see AI have a lot where it can do in poetry, where it will assist, especially writers who have writer's block. I don't necessarily have writer's block, because I believe that inspiration, my strategy is that when it comes, I allow it. I don't force it. Some people have a strategy that they decide that they have to write, 15 poems a day or 2 poems a day, and so they kind of rush the process. I trust the process. That's my thing. But in terms of cons, Chat GPT, for example, now can imitate your style and your writing. That is very interesting to me. And also, another technology is deepfake, which concerns me, because deepfake technology is able to, um, you know, maybe sound like you. It's able to look like you, and so I'm concerned about the ownership and the copyright issues in terms of that. Is how can something looks like me, talks like me, sound like me, write like me, and then it creates, say, a poetry album, it get nominated, and then it win an award. And so I will be confused, in Jamaica we like to say, the real McCoy, meaning that I'm the real deal, I'm the authentic. And so the question of authenticity comes into play. And that's where my concern is. Because for me, writing or art or anything, it is from a human experience. And I give you an example. I remember I'm not sure what age I was, I don't know if I was a teenager, but I wrote a poem and my mom shared it with a friend. And this friend began crying. And I've never forgotten that, that moment. And it was within that moment that I realized that, I had a gift. I also realized that it wasn't just about me, because I wrote on personal experience. I realized that it could impact someone else. And as a result, I was able to start to really view the world around me and start to write, not just about me, but, based on what I saw, what I feel, and how others felt. And so my question is, can AI do something like that? Can AI have that human experience where, you read something and you're in tears? Can AI really impact the heart? Because the heart is this inner thing inside of us, that's what makes us beat, the human emotions. Um, so I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about my language come into play, because one of the things about poetry is not just, in Jamaica we do speak the Queen's English, but also we speak our native language, which is Patois, which is very unique because there's some things you can just only express in Patois. And so I know that, I am curious to know how would AI imitate our expressive language, and will it have that same impact? And so there's a lot of questions and concern and reservation on my part as a creative, because I rely so much on what I see, my own imagination, and I put a lot of effort in what I do. And while I'm not against someone who will use AI to its advantage, because I believe anything can be used to one's advantage, I am not against it. But I'm still very interested when, someone does something like that. And then I use my own, creativity and imagination. And we are at, at a versus. What is the result? I'm also concerned about over reliance, because humans tend to get more lazy as technology progress. And so we are already suffering in terms of communication and language and how we express ourselves. And we are already shortening the way that we text. And so I'm very much interested to see how over reliant will we be on AI and, chat GPT and deep fakes, because these things will be doing most of the work. I'm also very concerned about copyright issues, plagiarism, ownership. Who takes credit for these works? And so those are some of my concerns as a creative. And I've done AI courses because I believe, as a creative myself, that one must be able to know what's going on in their field, and you must not stay from outside and just criticize, but one must go and investigate. And so I have done AI courses. I have used ChatGPT to see what it's about, and I've used a poem generator to see what it's about. And I see that, it has a lot of potential, but I'm still concerned about over reliance, copyright issues, and about human creativity. If we would now lose our authenticity as people, because one of the things about poetry and what makes it unique, and any art for that matter, is your ability to express through your language, your culture, your dance. And that only comes from your society and your own culture. And so, I'm just very interested. And so that was my discussion on AI. I'll just share a quick piece of my poem, and I share in my native language. This one is titled Youth If You Have Ambition. My youth! Oh, you stay so. What kind of behavior this? Oh, you attract the ball copper shop, battle block, tear gas fees. You are behave like you a T-Rex, Wolfgang Dracula. Claim me a go for make juggler, but more a man with syntax. Left you inspire, hopeful, merciful. Give thanks. That's just an excerpt. Blessings.